Hi guys, this video is going to be about Venus throughout the signs. Because depending on what sign it is, Venus will express its love differently depending on what sign she is in. This is kind of a fun one. So first we're going to start with Venus in Aries. By the way, before getting into that, so Venus moves through all the 12 zodiac signs approximately every year, spending about 3 to 4 weeks in each sign, unless retrograde extends its stay. But Venus usually takes about that, amount of time. And of course, love, beauty, relationships, and all that kind of stuff is what Venus represents. All right, Venus in Aries. Well, if you have Venus in Aries, energy is bold, passionate, and spontaneous. And basically, your Venus is already the combination of Mars and Venus together. Because you have Venus with Aries, who rules over the planet Mars. Expression, love is exciting and fast paced, attracted to adventurous and independent partners. The challenges that you could face is impulsiveness and a need for constant stimulation in relationships. Now, Venus and Taurus, very sensual, grounded energy, because because Taurus does rule over Venus as well. So energy is grounded. Expression seeks comfort and stability in relationships because Taurus also rules over the second house, which is of foundations and security. Values physical touch and luxury. Challenges could be a tendency toward possessiveness or stubbornness in love. And then Venus and Gemini. Energy is very witty, curious, and playful. Expression is attracted to intellectual stimulation, loves variety and lighthearted connections. So they could have a tendency to be, not all, I'm just saying, because they're more like, they want to like sometimes have more options and be playful, right? They could have a tendency to be more open in relationships. The challenge is they can become restless and have difficulty committing. And now we're on Venus in Cancer. The Venus in Cancer energy is nurturing, emotional, because Cancer rules the fourth house. And Cancer is the sign that represents the mother, right? So very protective, nurturing. Expression is deeply values emotional security and family, like the fourth house. Love is sentimental and caring. The challenges, though, is the fact they can be a little oversensitive or have some clinginess in the relationships. Venus in Leo. Energy is dramatic, romantic, but very generous. Expression, love is grand, theatrical, seeks admiration and loyalty, enjoys spoiling and being spoiled. The challenge, they can be overly prideful or attention seeking. Venus in Virgo. So energy is practical, reserved, and devoted. Expression shows love through acts of service and attention to detail, values reliability. The challenges can be that they're overly critical or hesitant to express affection. So Venus in Virgo is actually in its fall. Venus is in its fall in Virgo because Virgo is very logical and practical. So they don't really do the whole mushy gushy, lovey-dovey stuff. They're not into that. But they will show through acts of kindness. Like I will be of service to help you. Venus in Libra, energies charming, harmonious, and romantic, of course, because Libra also rules over Venus with Taurus. Expression, values balance and beauty in relationships. Attracted to partnership and fairness. Challenges is that they can be very indecisive or they have a tendency to prioritize others' needs over their own, which in turn could turn into resentment. Venus in Virgo, or I'm sorry, I just did Virgo. Venus in Scorpio, the energy is very intense, Because think about it, it's like you're combining Venus and Pluto. I should have done that like earlier throughout all the signs, like because each sign rules over different planets, but it's okay. So with Venus and Scorpio, it's kind of like a combination of Venus and Pluto, and the energy is intense, passionate, and magnetic. Expression seeks deep emotional and physical connection. Love is transformative and all-consuming. And the challenges is jealousy, secrecy, or power struggles. Venus in Sagittarius, the energy is free-spirited, adventurous, and optimistic. Expression is attracted to exploration, learning, and fun, loves freedom in relationships. So they can also be kind of hard to tie down. Not all, but they can be more adventurous in their partnerships. Challenges avoids commitment or lacks the focus in love. Venus in Capricorn. So energy is mature, responsible, and ambitious. Expression values loyalty and long-term security, attracted to successful and dependable partners. So in this case, this would be like a Venus and Saturn combination. Challenges is that they can appear emotionally distant or overly focused on practicalities. And then the Venus and Sagittarius would have been a Venus and Jupiter combo. Venus in Aquarius. So energy is independent, unconventional, and intellectual. The expression is they seek unique friendship-based connection. So to them, it's just as important to have a friendship as well with the lover. Love is experimental and open-minded. So they can also have a tendency to be not as committed to a relationship at times. The challenge is they detach quite a bit. That's what Aquarius is known for, detachment or fear of losing personal freedom because they value freedom above anything else. And then last but not least, Venus in Pisces. The energy is romantic, empathetic, and dreamy. Expression, deeply compassionate and idealistic in love, attracted to spiritual and emotional connections. Venus is exalted in Pisces, in the sign of Pisces, which in turn creates that sacrificial love, unconditional love energy. And this would be like a Venus and Neptune combination, since Pisces rules over Neptune. The challenges of having this is over romanticizing or losing boundaries in relationships. And then the Venus and Aquarius would be like a Venus and Uranus combination, Venus, Uranus, and Saturn combination. So that is Venus through all the signs. Venus shapes how we experience love and pleasure. Its energy shifts depending on the sign and element, whether it's fire, earth, air, or water. So retrogrades every 18 months bring reflection and revisiting of Venus themes. And there's a couple aspects I wanted to bring up. If you're well versed in doing synastry, or if you're just learning, some aspects that you can look into between your chart and another is like with an overlay chart. Venus and Mars connections. How is it connected? Is there a square? Is there an opposition? Mars and Mars, Sun and Mars, Venus plus Pluto, but be careful with that one because that can also bring about obsession and like hard to break free. And then Moon, Mars plus Pluto. Those are some combination aspects that you can look into. Now I'm going to go over the Mars through all signs. So Mars in Aries, bold, direct, and fiery, since Mars rules over Aries. Expression driven by personal goals, thrives in competition, quick to act, passionate, and courageous. Challenges, impulsiveness, or a leap before you look attitude at times. Mars in Taurus, the energy is steady, determined, and sensual. The expression, persistent and practical in pursuing goals, prefers stability and material rewards, because second house. Challenge can be stubborn, slow to adapt, or resistant to change. Mars in Gemini. So, oh yeah, let me go ahead and, so that was a Mars and Venus with Taurus. Mars in Gemini, which is Mars and Mercury. Energy, quick, curious, and mentally active. Expression, driven by intellectual stimulation and variety. Excellent at multitasking, though. The challenges is that there's scattered energy and difficulty following through. If you have a Mars in Cancer, that's like Mars and Moon combination. Energy, very emotional, protective, and nurturing. Expression, driven by a need to protect loved ones, which is driven by emotions. Energy ebbs and flows with the moods. The challenge is the passive aggressiveness that it could manifest in them, emotional outbursts when provoked. Then Mars and Leo, which is like a Mars and Sun combination. Confident, dramatic, and creative. Expression, pursues goals with flair and determination, thrives on recognition and appreciation. The challenge is ego-driven actions or seeking validation through achievements. Mars in Virgo, which is like a Mars and Mercury combo as well. Energy, practical, analytical, and detail-oriented. Expression, driven by productivity and a desire to be helpful, prefers precision and efficiency in actions. The challenge is perfectionism, of course, or being overly critical of others. And then we have Mars and Libra, which is another Mars and Venus combination, which is different. Energy, diplomatic, strategic, and relationship focused. Expression seeks balance in actions, often driven by partnerships or social justice. So it could be a good spot for like, court or like a prosecutor or a lawyer. I think a prosecutor. Challenge, indecisiveness, or avoiding direct confrontation. Mars in Scorpio, which is Mars and Pluto combo. Energy, intense, focused, and passionate. Mars co-rules Scorpio as well. So Scorpio does also rule over Mars, but when they discovered Pluto, that's when they assigned Pluto to Scorpio. But anyway, expression, driven by deep desires, emotional intensity, prefers transformative all or nothing action, and the challenge can be controlling, secretive, or vengeful with that. Mars in Sagittarius, which is like Mars and Jupiter. Adventurous, optimistic, and freedom loving. Expression, pursues goals with enthusiasm and a love for exploration. Thrives on independence and big picture thinking. The challenges is the restlessness or lack of focus on long-term plans. So kind of similar to the Venus in Sagittarius or the Venus in Gemini. It's kind of interesting how there's those similarities, even though like actually it's with Gemini because Sagittarius and Gemini oppose each other. It's like that's another thing that we'll learn more about as well over time is that whatever sign is opposing you on the wheel, even though they're complete opposite of you, you guys are also similar. You guys are also the same. It's like you guys both are the same, but you just have different, like the light and shadow, I guess. But that is also known as the descendant. So, but Capricorn Mars, let's see, is disciplined, ambitious, and determined. So Mars is exalted here. It's like a Mars and Saturn combination. Expression, channeling energy into long-term goals and achievements, prefers structured and efficient action. Challenge, overworking or being overly authoritative. Mars in Aquarius, which is like Mars and Uranus, Saturn. Energy, innovative, independent, rebellious, expression driven by progressive ideas and individuality, prefers unconventional methods to achieve goals. The challenge is the detachment or unpredictable bursts of energy. And then Mars in Pisces, which is like a Mars and Neptune. Dreamy, empathetic, and spiritual, driven by creativity and emotional intuition, prefers subtle and imaginative approaches to action, but the challenge is the lack of direction or difficulty asserting oneself. So, yeah. So if you have Mars in fire signs, dynamic, bold, action oriented. Mars in earth signs, grounded, steady, focused on tangible results. Air sign Mars, intellectual, strategic, and innovative. Water sign Mars, emotionally driven, intuitive, and intense. So, but yeah. So in astrology, the Mars and Venus dynamic represents love and attraction at its core. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and what we value. It governs our desires for connection and what makes us feel loved and fulfilled. Mars is the planet of passion, drive, and action. It governs how we pursue what we desire and the energy we bring into relationships. Together, Venus and Mars represent the balance of feminine and masculine energy within relationships. Love being Venus needs passion, Mars, and passion needs love. Their interplay influences how individuals experience romance, attraction, and intimacy. So, positive aspects between Mars and Venus, trines and sextiles are harmonious blends. They won't bring as much intensity, though. Honestly, they're positive and they're lighthearted. They're nice, but like you get along really well. But trines and sextiles aren't going to be like that intenseness. The challenging aspects will bring you more of the chemistry and intenseness. So that means squares or oppositions. And that, yeah, that's essentially what would bring more like intense chemistry and passion and stuff. But it will also bring some conflict and power struggles along with it, of course. So, um, but yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting stuff. I do want to get more into this topic. It's very, I think it's fun to kind of analyze. But hope you guys liked it.